Hello, Bill Molyneux here for Bill's History World and Bill's Wargame World. And um, we're going to talk about a book review, Goober book review. And Goober the Traveling Bear is with me, have a sense of humor. We're talking about Jason Salkey's Sharpe's Rifle book titled From Crimea with Love. This book is about Sharpe's rifles, but more specifically, how Sharpe's rifles was made. So if you're a fan of Sharpe's rifles, this book is incredible. Now there's going to be some spoilers. I'll start off with, I do know Jason a tiny bit. I've interviewed him. I've had a couple beers with him. And I also um, listened to a couple of his lectures. He is a wonderful person. And at the end of this book review is my interview from Historicon in 2024, excuse me. So we're going to talk about this book. So to start off with, if you don't know anything about Jason, he was Rifleman Harris. And Rifleman Harris was actually a character in the Sharpe's novels, or in the books. He's not. In the movie, he is. And Jason portrays the rifleman, who is also knows how to read, and quite well. I have another picture of the crew, Rifleman Harris, the Chosen Men. Okay, now there's some spoilers in our book review. You can get a paperback or hard copy. I have both. So when you purchase your book in person, Jason had these cool Great Britain bags. So what I'm going to talk about is, I was expecting more of a book about filming. What I didn't expect is I learned a bit about his father in the beginning, the introduction. Another thing, we're going to go through 5 items that I've laid out, and I'm going to give a few spoilers. There are things in this book that I did not expect. So if you're a fan of Sharpe's and you've watched any of the episodes, you will be amazed that they were even produced. Now, why do I have toilet paper stacked up here? Goober, why do we have toilet paper stacked up here? Well, there's a big reason. They were filming in the Crimean. The Soviet Union had just fallen apart, and they were told to bring their own toilet paper for 16 weeks because they couldn't guarantee they would have toilet paper there. And what's more bizarre, Jason also explains, the toilet paper that they did have there was sort of a wax paper type of stuff. So the food there was very rough. Also, Jason will go through the detail of the first actor to play Sharpe, and then when Sean Bean came in to take over, and how that first actor got hurt is described in the book in detail. And I gotta say, Jason, you did a great job explaining that, and it was an interesting injury. So another point on my book is beer. All right. So they didn't just drink a few beers on the set. They drank a lot of beers on the set. So um, one of the other things I learned is they had a weird red beer type thing that made people sick. Jason didn't drink it, but others did. So that the behind the scenes in this book of the stuff that has nothing to do with the actual Sharpe battles and that, but more of how they even survived in the Crimean, dealing with the Russian mafia. I was quite surprised that they had to pay the Russian mafia for airport fees to get transported. And it turned out to be just like a $10 bill. It wasn't like any extravagant amount of money. So when you go and read this book, it will make you really appreciate the movies much more. I have the video diaries, but they don't go into the detail like this does. Now, we talked about the toilet paper and, of course, the Russian mafia. As far as filming, what's interesting is he does talk about the other actors. And it's neat because he brings forth, the behind the scenes talk of what the other actors were like, um, what it was like to work with them, the camaraderie, and also he talks a lot about food. They have bad water. The water buffalo that brings water for the actors is even sterilized. So the big takeaway for me is not just the actors and how the movies were made, each of the series from in Crimea, was how they even survived the ordeal. Because I will appreciate those movies much more. And I have to give this book 2 paws up, as Goober would say, 1 and 2. And you gotta laugh at my goofiness with Goober the Traveling Bear. And as I hope you know that these videos, each month I donate the money to a historic site. And this month the money is going to be sent to the CSS News Education Center in Kinston, North Carolina, to help with their homeschool program. So I really have to say, Jason is a wonderful person, and his books were, I purchased books from him to send to Sheriff John in Broome County, New York. The sheriff up there, retired, has a signed copy. I have a hardback and a softback copy. And Will Emerson, the famous historian at Old Fort Niagara in Buffalo, near Buffalo, he has a signed picture and an autographed book also. And Will Emerson is a huge fan. And someday maybe Jason will visit Old Fort Niagara and say hi to Will. So I hope I didn't give too many things away, but I wanted to put out enough to let you know it's not just about how each scene was filmed or anything like that. It's almost a survival book, and it's incredible to read. So we're going to say stay safe, be kind, be courteous. Thank you for watching my channels, Bill's History World and Bill's Wargame World. And you got to get the book. And don't forget, I didn't mention, the forward is by Bernard Cornwall, the author of the Sharpe series. So probably should have mentioned that right off the bat. And incidentally, he was the neighbor to one of the guys in my Gettysburg area gamers when he moved to Massachusetts, Mr. Ronald Keach. And they were next door neighbors. All right. Buy the book. Buy the paperback. Jason, I hope you get a couple sales from this. And that's it for now. Thank you and stay safe, everyone. Well, here we are at Jason's booth, and Goober the Traveling Bear is visiting, and of course, Rifleman Harris. And he has a lot of neat things for sale. He's got his book, his videos, and a lot of neat things. And there's Rifleman Harris there now.
Reporting for duty, how are you?
Well, how can someone purchase something here from you when they're not here?
Well, they can go to my website, or they can contact me directly from Facebook or wherever, or Instagram, and you can contact me and I'll sell you anything you like.
All right. And I know you have your new book out.
That's right, From Crimea with Love. It's my account of my 5 years on Sharpe and beyond, and it's quite a story.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And Goober the Traveling Bear fully approves of your book.
Thank you, Goober.
So, he also has photographs. Amazing. And I gotta say, Mr. Jason is just really a nice, down-to-earth, friendly person. And we're gonna close this out now. Please check him out on Facebook to order your Sharpe's rifles memorabilia. All right, put a little ad on here. There's Goober with the book, and there is Jason signing one of the hardback copies for me, and it's to Will Emerson at Old Fort Niagara. And then we have Jason with Goober, and Jason has such a great sense of humor. And there he is in the lobby with Goober, and he recognized me right off the bat. Thank you, everyone.